Vážení posluchači, vážení realitní makléři, ve spolupráci s REMAX Akademií jsme pro vás připravili demo verzi jednoho z nejlepších realitních školení na trhu Business by Design Tom Ferry.
Vychutnejte si to.
Jdem na to.
Welcome back. Today, we're going to talk about how do we convert more open listings and for sale by owners to exclusive listings with you. Let's begin with the formula. As you see in your notes, like everything else in business, it's just math. Our studies have shown when you speak to 10 open listings or for sale by owners using the dialogues inside your workbook, a minimum of 3 people will invite you over to connect and engage and to preview their property to see if it matches the needs of any of your buyers or if you can just build some trust and rapport with them. What we know, as you see inside your workbook, is that after 10 different homes you've previewed, you should be listing a minimum of 2, and in many cases, up to 4 of those properties. So you start by calling and reaching 10 to get 3 appointments. You go on 3, 6, 9, 10 different previews where you're meeting them face-to-face, taking a look at their home, engaging and asking questions, and of those 10, you should be listing 2 at a minimum, and ideally 4 or more of those properties into exclusive listings just for you. So let's talk about how we get that done. The question I like to start with is, why is it that a percentage of people choose to list in an open listing setting or even go for sale by owner? Now I know if I did this in an open forum, every person in the room would have an opinion as to why this happens. My experience after nearly 3 decades is simply this: no single agent provided that seller enough value and reasons to list exclusively with them. So they simply followed the same game and the same path as most other people. They haven't met someone extraordinary like you, so they chose an open listing. Or they assumed since they couldn't find any amazing real estate professionals like you, they decided to sell on their own. So I want to share with you a very interesting research piece. I was invited to go spend a day at the Google headquarters, where, as Google, we know as the largest real estate portal, the largest search portal on the planet, Google and all the Googlers shared with a very small number of us some very interesting statistics on not only what people are looking for in a real estate professional, but ultimately, how do they select an agent? What criteria is important to them? So as we're sitting here today asking ourselves, how can I convince more open listings or for sale by owners to stop doing that and choose me as their exclusive listing source? We can do one of 2 things. We can say, well, here's why I think they should do it, or we could look at Google's research of hundreds of thousands of consumers, and specifically the answer to the question, when you selected an agent, what was important to you? When you selected an agent, what was important to you? Now, I may be old school, but I've learned in my career that if Google tells me this is exactly what customers want, I do my best to deliver that. I don't go against the grain against Google. If Google tells me these are the most popular searches, then I'm going to advertise those keywords. If Google tells me we surveyed hundreds of thousands of consumers that were in the process of trying to identify a real estate agent, then I'm going to make sure I pay attention to that, and I think you are too. In your notes, the number 1 thing and the highest percentage answer to the question was the word trust. We're looking for someone that we trust. And they said that 49% of the reason why they selected an agent was that word trust. Now, of course, naturally, we begin to ask ourselves, what can I do to create trust? What can I do to develop trust? We know that in the absence of trust, there is only tension and room for objections. You might want to think about that. In the absence of trust, there is only room for tension. I don't trust you, I'm not sure, I feel tense, and if there's no trust, I'm going to object, I'm going to reject you. So it is paramount that as we think about talking to an open listing or talking to a for sale by owner, that we are deeply and passionately committed to expressing trust and creating trust to remove their barriers and have them see you as the exclusive expert they should choose. Number 2, you see in your notes, is the word experience. And 15% of the people made their decision after seeing an agent's track record, their experience. Now, whether you're an experienced veteran here at REMAX or you're a brand new agent, you can do one of two things. You can either take your track record as an experienced agent, or you can take your office or your company's track record and show the experience of the magnificent office you work in. Number 3 is demonstrable ability to negotiate. Now think about it. Why would a for sale by owner sell on their own? Because they believe they can negotiate more effectively than you. They believe that they can market more effectively than you. The more we can demonstrate our ability to bring buyers and sellers together and negotiate the transaction to close, and the more we can give case study-like examples of how we've done that multiple times in the past, again, their sales barrier drops, their trust goes up, and they begin to see why choosing you as their exclusive agent becomes the obvious choice. Number 4, as you see in your notes, is personal referral. 11.8% of all consumers were basically selecting an agent because someone else said they were great, or, you ready? They got enough direct mail pieces in the mail, they got enough of your marketing message, they saw the balloon enough times, and they finally said, I just feel like I know you. They actually expressed it both ways, both that personal, John told me to call, or I really felt like I knew the agent because I'd seen their marketing over and over and over again. Number 5 is an important one. Though the number is smaller, when you look at the data, here's what they said. If the agent works fast, then we selected them. If the agent works fast. Now, think about it in this context. I shared with you the formula. Talk to 10 people, book an appointment with a minimum of 3 to go see their house. If during that conversation you made a promise to deliver something, some information, a sample marketing piece, maybe it was just to write a personal note. When you do it immediately, you're telling that customer that your word is law, that when you say you're going to do something, it's absolutely going to happen, and they begin to trust you even more. Here's another consideration. When you look at working fast, when someone emails you, how fast do you respond? When someone sends you a text message, how quickly do you get back? If someone calls and leaves a message for you, how soon before you respond? Remember, consumers have choices, and what we know today is when someone's reaching out to you in email, in text, a phone call, or in any social media platform, they're not looking for someone who's going to respond next week. They're looking for someone who's going to respond in under 5 minutes. In under 5 minutes. So if you're looking to remove sales barriers, if you're looking to get more yeses, to book more appointments, to get more open listings and more for sale by owners, to stop that nonsense and list exclusively with you, we need to respond faster and we need to keep our word. If we make promises, we need to deliver quickly, and most importantly, respond fast. The last one you see is brand, that they actually said we chose the brand. Now, in your case with REMAX, the brand is far greater than any brand in your marketplace, in your country. So when you actually dig deeper into the data, when they talked about brand, it actually was also a sign of trust. Because they've seen the balloon so many times, they trust it. Now, my question for you is, now that you have that Google data.
Ahoj a díky, že jsi to doposlouchal až sem. Ve spolupráci s REMAX Akademií pro tebe máme připravených stovky vzdělávacích materiálů, díky kterým budeš nejlepší na trhu, utečeš konkurenci, budeš vydělávat násobně víc jak makléři z jiných sítí, takže pokud chceš být ten nejlepší, poslání jasné, přidej se k nám.
Přidej se k REMAXu.
Přidej se k Deluxu. Čau.